doing wonderful. Uh, we got a lot of Facebook censorship going on. And I'm noticing it's the people that is actually standing up and speaking out and starting to expose the corrupt system that we live in. People are starting to wake up by the masses. And then you have those that refuse to wake up and think that the government is out to help them. Hey, Jason. Let me explain something. Those that believe that the government is out to help them, you're wasting your time. I've kept this one. I've posted it several times on my other Facebook page. In fact, I think I posted it once or twice on this one about a year ago. There's a movie out called Gray State. The man went as far as he could to expose the corrupt system and what they were planning and how they were planning this to drop the how they were planning to drop the economy worldwide. And him and his family, his wife and daughter, were found dead in their home. They said it was a homicide-suicide, is what it was ruled as. Shannon, if you're on here, that's a piece of information for you there. But I highly recommend you guys that are awake and is trying to stand up for your rights to go watch the movie Gray State. It's very powerful. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I want to say in that general area about 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's got a lot of good, useful information in it. That's what got me started on the path. Well, that's one of the things that helped get me started on the path that I'm walking down now. Is that movie, and of course there's other ones out there that go along with it. Yeah. I know it's probably shaking too really bad because the holder that I have it in right now. But we need to start, if you're awake, I'm just throwing this challenge out there to you. If you are awake and you are aware of what the government is doing to the American people, and this goes beyond just, hey Mark, how are you, buddy? This goes way beyond what most of you think is going on. This goes further, deeper. This goes back to 1933. This one goes way back. Just the starting of it, well, not even really the start. It actually started back when this country was created. You've got to get away from the stuff that you've learned in history. You've got to start doing some research and digging. History has been changed by those that want you to believe the lies that they are producing. You have to do your own due diligence and research to find these things. Just like a lot of people don't know that the first bank in America was called the Bank of the United States Bank is what it was called, and it was formed in 1790 with a $10 million loan put in this bank. Of course, the next year was when the Bill of Rights was ratified. But the United States went bankrupt in 17 1789 or 1790. The Rothschilds formed the first bank in the United States. It was in Washington, D.C. We've been bankrupt several times since then. And this last time that we went bankrupt was in 1933, and they done what they called a National Emergency Banking Act. All debt we're bankrupt. We have been in bankruptcy since 1933. So what they come up with? The FRNs, Federal Reserve Notes, for those that don't know the acronym for it. And I want you to keep this in mind when I say this. If you have a debt, how can you pay a debt with another debt? I just want to ask you that. How can you pay a debt with another debt? That's what the FRNs, Federal Reserve Notes, is debt. Yes, I've actually read that. That was when the Federal Reserve Bank was actually started, where J.P. Morgan and Chase and Sherwin-Williams and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all of them got together to form the Federal Reserve Banks. I'm gonna step off my little course that I'm on here just for a second, and I'm going to go back to this. And Shannon, if you've watched that full video, you know exactly where I'm headed, brother. 1895. Does anybody know what happened in 1895? Shannon, you should know this one. $1895, it was ratified unconstitutional. I'm going to repeat myself. Ratified unconstitutional to make the American people pay taxes. Again, in 1916, it was still ratified unconstitutional to make the American people pay taxes. Now, you're sitting there asking yourself, well, how come I'm paying taxes if it was ratified unconstitutional twice in American history? I'm going to give you a little detail on this. During World War II, the government had asked the American people to help support the war by paying taxes. It was only supposed to last 2 years. 2 years. That was it. After the war was over, everybody was to go back doing their own thing. The government realized how much money they were making off of the war and how much in taxes the people were paying, willingly paying taxes, so they never really got rid of the taxes. So that's the reason why, exactly, the 16th Amendment never really ratified constitutionally. Exactly. So that is the reason why, right there, there is no law stating you have to pay taxes. You are so very correct there, Shannon. Without being ratified, there is no law. So again, people sit there and says there's a law. How can there be a law when it was never ratified? Okay, yes, the 16th Amendment was put in place. I can't tell you when it was. I want to say in the 40s. Exactly. You can't. There's no possible way to pay taxes with debt. Because that's all the FRN note is a debt. And if you look at the FRNs, it's written all over it for you. Exactly. Though actually, yeah, exactly. I'm going to run with that one exactly, Mark. But what I'm getting at here, guys, is anybody that can sit there and say the stuff that they say are really not educated. You brought up the 16th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment right there, all in just a few minutes, a few seconds. Exactly. Only gold and silver. Also, gold and silver is only your actual lawful currency under 12. Let's see, what is that? I have to look at it again. But it's the only lawful currency, which is the reason why John F. Kennedy was assassinated, because he found out what the Federal Reserve was going to do to the American people was put them into debt, make them debt slaves. There was another one there. It's U.S. something. CJ posted. I think it was U.S. 12 USC 411. I do believe that's what it was. Yes, Anthony, I'm telling you, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there. And a lot of people cannot grasp or cannot wrap their mind around it, because it goes so far and so deep that the normal person just, they can't comprehend it. They cannot wrap their minds around it. But anyway, that was the reason why John F. Kennedy was assassinated, because he found out that the Federal Reserve was going to make the American people into debt slaves. So 8 months before he was assassinated, he put out the Executive Order 1001, I do believe, for all currency, U.S. currency, to be backed by silver. Right? Yeah. I've got a lot of them memorized, but like I said, I've been the other day, I've been shoving a lot of intel and information into my head here lately, and it's just overwriting stuff. But 8 months before he was assassinated, he put out the Executive Order of 1001. Now, I could be wrong on that executive order. Hopefully, I'm not. I'm only human. I do make mistakes. But he made it to where the American currency was backed by silver, the only lawful currency there is at that time, and still to this very day. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. That looks about right. I knew it had some ones in it, and zeros, numbers to ledgers. But so they got rid of him before he could ever really get that up and off the ground. That was the reason why they took out Robert Kennedy when he was running for presidency too, was because he was going to follow up what his brother had started. So you had two Kennedys taken out over the same reason. The Federal Reserve did not want them to expose what they were trying to do to us. And now that this has all been going on, there's a lot of people years later that is starting to wake up and realize that they are debt slaves, and that they're working their life to death for nothing. I mean, there's people out there losing their homes because of the taxation. They're not getting anywhere. Exchange for goods, exchange for currency for goods and services. There's just so much that's going on that the American people need to sit there and wake up and realize what's going on. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what it was. The secret societies and stuff like that. He was hinting around at that speech. In fact, I'm going to try to find that speech of his, and I'm going to post it on Facebook. I've listened to it several times, but yeah, this is really, Shannon, you actually pumped the brakes on this one for me. Exactly, Mark. Shannon, you pushed the you pumped the brakes on this video feed, buddy. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. Mark, you're awesome. Debt pays for fraud. You're right. You're right. But I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna get in here and check my boy's dog, get her fed and watered and all this other stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here and you guys have a wonderful evening. Peace. God bless.